Good morning, Chertsey High School. I hope you're enjoying some lovely, brighter mornings and evenings. Remember this place, we will be back in it soon, so something amazing to look forward to. The theme of the week this week is team, so I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about what that means right now and what that might mean in your future. Now, last week, Mrs. Minnick talked about the scripture on love from the Corinthians. The Corinthians also talks about all of the special gifts that you have, all of those unique gifts that you have to empower God's will for the church. Now, I'm going to read through this, but you can replace the word church with team, family, or school. So I'll leave that up to you. The Christian church is like a human body. It's one individual organisation made up of many different parts that serve a wide variety of functions. All of those functions matter. Nobody should decide they don't like their gift or their role in the church and try to quit. The body needs each member to do its part in order to work properly. We must respect and value each other for the vital roles we serve in the church. So if you have replaced that word church with school, that is something that we're going to have to work really, really hard to do when we return next week. And moving forward, to have some self-reflection about what team means to you as an individual, what gifts you have to bring to the table to serve that role within school, within any team that you are a part of. What does the word team mean to me right now? And what will it serve for me in my future? I think it's good to just stop and acknowledge the team that you've been a part of nationally throughout this whole pandemic. You have done the best job that you can do by staying home. You have done the best job that you can do by participating with all of the online learning. So give yourself a real well done for that, because we have collectively, as a nation and as a massive team, had to really try and support the NHS and make sure that they can do their jobs to keep people safe. So I know it's been hard, I know it's been really difficult, but please give yourself a bit of a pat on the back about your part that you've played in that massive team. The word team for me really means about how we can come together to achieve great things. I found this definition the other day, and it says a group of people working together towards a shared goal and the determination to achieve success. And I think that is really important to remember, that although your role in the team sometimes might be hard, and I'll hold my hand up at that, it's really important to keep that focus, keep that self-belief that your role is really important within any team. In any career, teamwork and being a good team player is one of the most important things. And your ability to perform as an individual and together with colleagues is what makes effective teamwork. So it's really, really key that you remember that, to make sure that you keep growing, you keep learning, to achieve all of those successes now and in the future. With regards to well-being, teamwork and being a team player is something that is important for everything. Being involved in something, having that importance within a team is so important. That's important to your relationships. So a team could just be two people. It could be a group of friends. And that real sense of belonging to something, belonging to a team. Your autonomy is your control over a situation. Now, we've not had much of that recently, unfortunately, but there are things that you can control. So in a moment, we're going to have a bit of self-reflection about what your role is in a team, what your unique gifts are, to sort of gain back some of that control when we return next week. And then the most important one for me is your sense of purpose. If you don't have a sense of purpose, then it's really, really hard to sort of see beyond into the future. So all of those things right now are what I want us to focus on. Now, your team might be being a member of something. It might be supporting a club or a sport. It might be being a fan. It might be championing a certain belief or a charity. It might be something that you're doing short term, your sense of purpose, helping someone out. it might be your job, it might be your career. That could be part of your team. And then also to talk about your beliefs. So your beliefs, having belief is really important to have that community spirit, have that sense of being part of a team. There are lots of things that we can be doing to help our team mindsets. And those of you who have sort of buried your head in the sand a little bit during this online learning, please listen and please take on board that there are things, little things that we can be doing to really build our team mindset. Now, I like to call this sandpit thinking, going back to that burying your head in the sand. So things that are sandpit thinking, I focus on looking good. I have no clear goals. I lack trust in others. I avoid problems. I'm always right. I give excuses. I talk badly about others. I have nothing to learn. I tend to use I more than we. Now, I'll be completely honest, it's really hard to be perfect, isn't it? And it's really hard to keep those high expectations when we're not feeling that great. So trust me when I say we do all flip between these. Being a good team player is really important for self-growth, but also to make sure that your team as a whole achieves. The things you can do towards that. Do I know my strengths and weaknesses? I trust the process, and being a student in a school, that's really important. You have to trust the process, trust what the system is telling you, so that you can go on and have amazing opportunities and lead a happy life. I encourage people to grow. I know how to prioritise. That can be really hard, and we want to do lots of fun things and we haven't quite done our homework. I understand that, but it's important that we prioritise the important things before we reward ourselves. I ask for help when I need it. That can be really tricky. Some of you are going to be feeling really anxious coming back to school, and lots of your teachers are as well. I'm a little bit anxious about it too, so please voice those concerns and ask for help when you need it. You can just be as little as, I'm not really sure about it today, and that's fine. That just starts a conversation. I focus on solutions, not problems. I try to see the best in everyone. I'm always learning. I help others who are struggling. So it's about changing that mindset, working towards a more positive mindset to be able to overcome some of those worries, some of that negative thinking. Now, an example of amazing teamwork, and I hope you've been watching all the sport. It's been a saving grace for me since this lockdown. And an example of sport that I really think is what really underpins what teamwork is. And having those different roles, having those unique gifts is really, really vital. There was a game a couple of weeks ago between London Irish and Bristol, and it was just an amazing display of what it means to really dig deep when times are hard. To cut a long story short, they came back from being 25 points down to winning 34 all, and they really, really had to dig deep. The president of the club said, if you have good people with the spirit our lads have, and you chip away at it, you can bring it back. So I think that's a really good message for all of you who are worried about if they haven't quite completed all their work and they're not keeping up. It's really important just to remember that you can do it. You can chip away at it and dig deep and really, really bring it back. So I wanted just to take a bit of time just to talk about all of the amazing things that you guys have been doing since you've been at home to be part of the team, be part of this community, to be a team player, to inspire others. And you've all been doing that, as I said, in your own all unique way. Some of you have been quiet in your efforts and some of you have been quite loud. Both are fine. So to start you off, some of you have been the motivator in your lessons, helping your teachers, getting involved, and that's been so inspiring to see, so well done. Or you might have just been that person in that team that gets on with it, the person in your class gets on with it quietly, and that's your role to play. That's an absolutely amazing role to play. All of you who have got involved in all the PE challenges, all of the MFL challenges, and all of those extra things that your teachers have put on for you. Lily, thank you for this. This made my day with your tea bag and a cup challenge. Absolutely amazing to see. All of you, well done for getting involved in those challenges. You might have been the person that just supports self-worth, supports that time, that breathing space away from your studies, away from everything that is going on in the world right now, and really promoting that time out. And that is really, really, really important. I know we've been doing a little bit of that in Friday morning tutor, but something to continue. Really support your friends if they're anxious, if they're worried, to have that time out, have that breathing space in order for our brains to work properly. You might have been supporting each other by staying in contact. Now, there are lots of ways to stay in contact in this technological world. There's so many ways. You might have been dropping texts, phone calls, WhatsApp, whatever it is. You might have been communicating through gaming. Now, there's a lot of scientific evidence to say how gaming has really supported young people during this time. But just remember that there's a little thing called balance. Well done. It's not my thing, but I think it's really helped a lot of you. So well done that everyone who has stayed in touch through whatever means possible. You might have been that person just lending a helping hand, being an ear to listen, and just being there for each other. That is one of the most important roles you can play within a team. Just being that one that sets back, that trusted member of that team, to ask for help or just to be there to listen. So well done for all of you who have done that too. You all, I think I've seen from all of you an example of how you have worked despite these tricky times and actually overcome this diverse situation by still producing exceptional work. And that is one of the most inspiring things that you can do. So keep challenging yourself when we return, and keep those high expectations of what you can achieve. And lastly, you might have been that member of the team just to really promote the little things that give us so much joy, and having faith that we are all collectively together enjoying those wonderful moments of simplicity. Well done to all of you who have really stepped up to their roles within this team, within this school community, within this family, and achieved amazing things. Well done. Now, returning to school, there's so many roles that you're going to need to play. You're going to need to be a bit selfish and think about yourselves and think about what you need to do to keep on top of your work and keep on top of your own well-being. But there's also some things that we can do to really underpin what it means to be a part of a team. Play your part the best you can. That's all we can ask. Do your best to play your part. Encourage everyone to be a team player. So it's a collective responsibility to encourage other people if they're not perhaps making the right choices. Encourage them. Focus on the job in hand. Okay, and make sure that we are thinking ahead, but also focusing on the now. Challenge your mindset. I showed you some ways a minute ago of how you can challenge your mindset if you've got those negative thoughts, if you're not feeling much of a team player, how you can turn that mindset around and really try and challenge that mindset. Make every day count. And I think that's something I tell myself sometimes when I'm perhaps not got out of bed on the right side. Make every day count. Focus on one thing. Achieve something. That could be as little as making your bed in the morning. Start the day right. And that's really important to remember. And for me, above all, accept help and listen. We all need help. Okay, despite what's happened over the last year, we all need help in our lives. We all need people around us to give us that virtual hug, or hopefully sometime soon, that hug in person, that supportive ear. You are not alone in any of your struggles. There is always someone that can help you. Okay, so remember, think about the bigger picture. You are part of so many teams, but above all, your Chertsey High family really, really believes in you, and we will be going on to achieve amazing things if we work together. I'm just going to finish the assembly with a short prayer. Dear Lord, thank you for making each one of us different and giving us all unique gifts. Thank you for enabling us to work together to achieve great things and help each other to do the same. Please help us to continue to keep our faith when things seem hard, and to recognise the strengths in everyone we meet. Help us to remember the important roles we have in our lives right now and look forward to a bright and happy future. Amen. Have a fantastic week, guys. One more week to go, and we look forward to having you all back in school very soon. Take care.